You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hello. Good morning to some and good afternoon to the rest, right? Different time zones, you know. But, hey, I'm glad you guys are here with us today. There are over 27,000 of you guys on the phone lines. Some of you guys in the chat room, the browser, Google Hangouts. Hey, how you doing? Thank you. Well, I'm your host, Dini. Today you will face countless choices. Yeah, this is like an everyday thing, right? They may each seem insignificant, but they're not. Most of them you probably won't even think about. You'll make these choices by habit. Others you'll consider briefly perhaps, and then move on to something else. So we tend to focus on the big choices like where to go to college, what house to buy, who to marry, what career to choose. And these are important decisions, yet the little choices, the ones you make every day without even thinking, add up over the months and the years to have a huge impact on your life. The effort of these little choices are powerful indeed. Let's say you choose at lunch to have a double meat cheeseburger. Ooh, not for me, I'm vegan, can't touch that. A large order of onion rings and a piece of cheesecake instead of having a green salad and a bowl of fresh fruit. Now, it won't make much difference today what you choose. However, over the course of a year, your daily choice of food can make a tremendous difference in your health and in your fitness. Other choices that you make every day to spend 10 minutes circling and fighting for a parking space next to the building, or to park out where there are plenty of spaces and spend 3 minutes walking across the parking lot, to call a friend or to watch another rerun of Coach, to assign blame or solve the problem, to do something the way it's always been done or to look for a new approach, to pay someone a compliment or to mind your own business, to take off early or to work a few minutes late. These choices combine to form your life. In what direction are your choices taking you? Ask yourself that, my friend. The life you live right now is a result of the choices you have made in the past. Be aware of your choices every day. Take control of your life with the choices you make, especially the little ones. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or Inside the Book, Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline, or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
How would you love to take your business to the next level? Well, now you can. Just visit classytechnology.com. Let us simplify technology for your business. Our services include website and business mobile app development, local SEO, business technology coaching, digital marketing, even online training courses. That's classytechnology.com. Why wait? Book your free technology consultation today by calling 734-215-7675. Put the passion back into your business and let the team at Classy Technology handle everything for you. That's classytechnology.com, the technology stylists.
Well, today's interview is the terri-dimatteo interview, and I'm your host, Dini. Just in case you didn't get that name again, Dini. Yeah, gotta say it. All right, so, you guys are in a treat. My guest and I will be talking about a topic that is always, how can I say it without, I don't know. This is something that's common, okay? So, and a lot of times, there is no conversation about the aftermath of this event. And sometimes, there's no talk about the prevention, because as I mentioned earlier, choices lead to the way that we live our lives. Some habits, some substitutes, so it all plays a part in decision making. So let's go ahead, dive deep. Welcome, Terri. Thank you so much for joining us and taking some time with us to talk relationship stuff with us today. So can we get a little history from you in terms of how Open Door Therapy came to be?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be with you today, and I really enjoyed your intro.
Thank you.
That I was listening carefully. That caught my attention. What an intro. Nice. So I'm a relationship and couples counselor at Open Door Therapy, which is my private practice. And Dini, I switched careers in midlife. So I had a long history working as a teacher. I took an early, concluded my position there kind of youngish, young middle age. And then I transitioned and opened a private practice, Open Door Therapy. And at first it was more of a general practice. I'm a licensed professional counselor, so I saw a variety of circumstances, but it kind of evolved over time into relationship and couples counseling. I found I had a little talent and interest in working with couples. I liked the energy and the dynamic of having two in the office with the complexity. It's more complex than working one-on-one. So it sort of morphed into this. And now I'm really quite, at first I was a little wet behind the ears and practiced do no harm, don't harm anybody. I don't know how helpful I was, but now I have developed quite a confidence and competence in working with couples, and particularly those coping with the aftermath of infidelity. That has morphed into my specialty area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Terri, 'cause transitioning from education to a more how can I say it? To a more, I would say, hands-on approach when it comes to people and relationships.
Yeah.
Because you're diving deep with these people.
Very, yes.
Yeah. So, Terri, go ahead.
No, right out of the gate, diving deep immediately. The session starts, and it's pretty heavy energy right out of the gate. Folks are calling me typically right after discovery of infidelity. That's generally when the call comes in. That an affair has been found out, and there's a lot of pain and panic, and this is when the call comes in, generally.
Yes.
Yeah, if you could imagine that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can definitely imagine that. And I may get personal with you on this one. So.
All right.
Yeah, because I have some experience with that as well. But I used to give like relationship advice, and as a single man, and I would always hear the term, "You can't give advice. You're single." My response would always be, "I wasn't always single."
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But maybe they didn't like the advice you had, and they wanted to, just discredit it in some way.
Yeah.
But it might have made sense.
Definitely, indeed. So, I don't know, things that I've noticed, especially with younger people nowadays, they don't tend to want to be in relationships. They're just, letting the life flow by, single. Some are even single parents, and they're okay with that. Do you think infidelity plays a big part in why people just do not want to fool with being committed to anybody?
Yeah, it's really this issue of kind of, boundaries. You hear people not committing, or even that polyamory, multiple partners. It got, relationships are sure having a hard time. And one of the reasons, I think, is because years ago, before the modern age, let's say, of people moving around for jobs, it was the family and community, the village, you might say, the community held people together. They got their needs met from a variety of people in a supportive network that was kind of built in, right? But modern life has made us move around, chase the jobs, go after the money, these kinds of things, and it's really intensified the burden on the romantic pair. Now the most intimate relationship is one another, and that has complicated matters. You with me on that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So before you would go to your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your brother, your sister. You had this sort of network of supportive people, and it was a little spread out. But now there's a lot of intense pressure on couples in this modern life. Economic pressures, the media, the lifestyle, long hours at work. It's really hard to maintain a relationship.
Definitely.
Logistically, just the logistics. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
You
a lot
said
of
a key word.
pressures. What's that?
Yeah. Community.
Yes.
And when it's community versus fast-moving world, fast-paced world with media, community loses.
Yeah.
There's so many distractions now, in my opinion.
Yes, sometimes couples come to me and I ask them a simple question. When do you spend time together? When are your times, just the two of you? Oh, wow, they're up at 5:30 in the morning. They come home exhausted at 8 p.m. The kids, the dishes, the dinner, phew. There's really just plain old no time. They don't really have time even to for themselves, or they're exhausted. So this is definitely a factor, let's say, or it's taking a toll.
Definitely. Oh, yeah. So, in your opinion, Terry, what are the main issues that lead to infidelity?
Okay, so I noticed you said issues plural, huh?
Yes.
So I
say that because usually one issue trickles down to another issue.
Yeah. So I have a little unique perspective on this. I see the blogs and the commentary online or the talk shows, right? They say something like the 10 things that lead to infidelity, or 7 key things, or 8 reasons why. And I say really there's one. I think there's one. And it's a little nuanced, so it's not going to knock you over the head like this particular thing that we can identify in a concrete way. But generally it goes like this. The romantic pair, the couple, that relationship is pretty unique. It's unique. It's different from any other kind of relationship. It's different from a parent-child relationship. It's different from a sibling relationship. It's different from friendship. It's different from colleagues. It's unique in the way that it has the 2 components that make it unique are emotional and sexual intimacy. These 2 factors make a romantic relationship for a couple. And those 2 elements, the emotional and sexual intimacy, or we can just say briefly, even just intimacy, being close, right? That's the glue. And when something in that arena, which is the specialness or the uniqueness that keeps a couple bonded or attached, something about that gets sort of off or distant or estranged, or they're losing the bond, they're starting to lack or distance in either sexual or emotional closeness. It creates this sort of opening or space where an affair relationship can sprout. It's that disconnect in a couple. So, for example, a couple that's fighting, right? Sometimes it's conflicted. It's either on the conflict side, they're fighting, it's a conflict, or the other side is more disconnect, estrangement or isolated. The isolated disconnect is much more dangerous, much more of a threat to a couple's security than the conflict. At least in conflict, there's kind of engagement. You're fighting for something. You're in the conflict, in the engagement, in the arguing. It really is saying, in effect, you matter to me. I matter. You matter. This is important. We've got to get in the ring, and we've got to hash this out. We've got to get in there and fight it out because it's so important. But the other way is kind of whatever. I don't care. Disconnect. There's no love here. I don't matter to you. I feel lonely. What I say doesn't mean anything to you. You don't love me. These feelings of loneliness, being rejected, feeling like you don't matter. This is the danger zone. Are you with me on that?
I am.
Yeah. And so when people are feeling in relationship where the sexual, emotional intimacy is lagging and they're feeling basically unloved, you might say, then anyone outside of the relationship that can just give a little bit of attention. It doesn't even require much, but somehow they're being noticed. You're smart, you're handsome, you're good looking, your jokes are funny. That was an intelligent thing to say. You start, the person in the relationship starts to turn toward wherever those things are that are making them feel good. It could be outside the relationship because the primary relationship is not providing the sexual and emotional intimacy that's the glue that holds it together.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
kind of obvious in a way, but we don't generally frame infidelity in this way.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a unique frame because the typical frame is the person who engaged in the infidelity is somehow flawed. They're damaged. They're immoral. They have poor character. They're cruel. They really get sort of battered. In a way, they're trying to get their needs met, because the needs are not being met within the relationship, which is it gets kind of a little dicey here, because it can sound as if the blame is on the partner who didn't have the affair, and that's not true. The relationship, the people in the relationship have a responsibility together to see to it that the emotional, sexual intimacy is tended to, let's say. So that takes two, right? So it's really the relationship as a unit of two that it rests on, rather than the one person who was feeling lonely, essentially, and was vulnerable to the attention of someone outside the relationship.
Yes.
So go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I mean, this is a very different frame than the what I see in the books or on the blogs or in the speakers or on Dr. Phil or any of the women's magazines. This concept I'm sharing with you is, I think it's uniquely my idea on this, but I feel it's accurate. But it's not a popular notion.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but yeah. It's a very true statement.
I think so.
So, do you think that men and women both share some of the top reasons for infidelity, or is it more of the, how they say guys prefer the physical and women prefer the emotional?
So that's a popular frame too. So we're going to bust up all these conventional notions. So in terms of like in terms of the gender difference, it's really a person feeling lonely. And so we think of it more men are the ones having affairs, probably to a greater extent than the women. This is what I find in my practice. It's more often males, but not always. And I think that part of that is the men are a little less able to recognize when they're feeling lonely, or not recognize, they recognize it, but they seem a little more vulnerable, let's say, to attention outside the relationship when there's a gap. And so it sometimes gets expressed because affairs are often sexual in nature. Sometimes there's emotional affairs, but usually we think of affairs as the hotel rooms and sexual, being sexual with someone who's not your partner. And so it can get framed, men are just, sex-driven, and this is why they're always having the affairs. But really, when they're in my office and we're lifting up the layers, I hear things from the men like, I thought she didn't love me. I was lonely. I thought I didn't matter to her. I didn't know how much I cared. Now that I had this affair, wow, I see I really matter to her. Now I can see. I didn't know it before. And so that loneliness, that desperation, it leaves them vulnerable to attaching outside the primary connection. So I think men get a little bad rap there.
Yeah, we do.
Unjustly.
So this is something that I don't know, I've been approached with more than one time, but what about the LGBT community? A few people that I've known have chosen to date the same sex because of being burnt in relationships with the opposite sex. But in my opinion, and I stand behind this opinion, they aren't really escaping anything at all.
I agree with you. yeah, if that were the case, everybody would be flipping around, changing gender partners, and that would remedy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course it doesn't, because it's not about a particular gender. It's about this emotional intimacy, and that is not specific to any gender. It's part of being human, needing love and that we matter, and feeling close and intimate, and having impact on our partner, these kinds of things. So that wouldn't be the remedy. And I would guess that if someone's doing that in short order, the same issues that came up in a prior relationship will likely pop up again.
Mm-hmm.
Because switching gender wouldn't really address it.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
Matter of fact, Terry, I think it helps put that stigma on the trust word, because I don't know, we run across a lot of people who say, I don't trust people, or I don't like people. And they go into relationships with the same attitude, you know, and I think that's like one of the one of the biggest things to me is like, okay, you're in a relationship with somebody, but you really don't like people. So what's the outcome of your relationship going to be like? What's your opinion on that?
You mean you don't like people? You don't trust? You mean like in an intimate relationship? I'm not sure I understand. Can you say a little more about that, please?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, trust, like their trust factor is totally damaged. Like totally damaged. But they're in relationships, you know, they're in new relationships with people, and we already know, and the partner may not know that, you know, they have trust issues like that. Like they just don't trust anybody. It's more like I don't know, like a charade, a mirage relationship. You know, they're just in it because it's the thing to do. They don't want to be alone, but so we get these sort of lame or less than adequate. You're sort of paired up. You're kind of partnered, but it doesn't have that real robust, which is necessary. That kind of robust. I want you, and I'm safe with you. The big thing would be I feel safe with you. I could be myself with you. I trust you. But more than I trust you, you want to also help ensure the trust. It's not, you don't have to be passive and just sort of watch your partner and see if they're trusting or not. You help foster that. It takes two. And so, people do tend to want to partner up with, you might say we're bonding creatures. We bond, right? We attach to one another. So that's the natural tendency to gravitate toward another for pairing, for bonding. But some folks are damaged, of course. There's damages, wounds from the first family or prior relationships that say, that was so painful, you know, but I want to be with someone. I crave intimacy, closeness, sexual and emotional closeness. I desire that, but I'm so wounded. I'm so hurt by what happened either in the first family or prior relationships or both. I'm really skeptical about this relationship thing, how to do it, and how to feel safe there would be a big one. What can we do to feel safe? Which actually, in my office, this is a big focus, is either creating or establishing or strengthening safety and trust, or repairing it, the safety and trust, because it's the foundation. And I think that's what you're speaking to, this foundational element. When I'm sitting in my office, I look out the window at the offices in downtown. I see this apartment building, and I sometimes reference it as a metaphor for a relationship. And if it were a metaphor for relationship, that foundation, that concrete slab, the steel, the whatever the apartment building is resting on, that base would be safety and trust. And the relationship sits on top of it. And when there's infidelity or other kinds of betrayal, you get kind of a crack in the foundation. It doesn't hold. Even when folks say, oh, we get along, or we have fun, or we were intimate, you really need that safety and trust at the base. That's paramount. And when that gets compromised,
it really needs attention, and it's sometimes very difficult to repair in something like a betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, if something happens, let's say on the upper floors, fighting about the in-laws or money or what car to buy or the kids, this kind of thing. If the foundation's solid, the relationship can kind of, you can engage in that way. But when the safety and trust are compromised, it really makes everything difficult or impossible because of the critical nature of safety and trust. I feel safe with you. You've got my back. I can count on you. These kind of old-fashioned, powerful things that are maybe not so sexy, right? They're solid, like you've got my back. I know you're always going to be there for me. You'll always turn to me, and I can go to you. You're reliable and trustworthy, these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yep.
Yes.
So how many couples actually do a relationship evaluation before anything happens? And for open door therapy, how many of these couples do you run across?
Yeah, what do you mean do an evaluation? Like examine their relationship? Or
examine their relationship and the individual baggage.
Yeah, so sometimes they have come to me with insights. They have sometimes been in therapy before, but this stuff is often born of pain, right? So in an early stage in relationship when we're kind of getting along and we're having fun and it's spontaneous and we're laughing and connecting and light, but those things don't generally spark examination because it's going smoothly, right? We love it. We're falling in love. It's fun. It's got this energy and sexy and this kind of thing. It's when the pain, when the disappointment comes in, then they start looking at it and maybe reading things or going to sources or getting into therapy. Say, something's wrong here. I can't figure it out. We're in pain, and I don't know I don't understand it. And sometimes they often contact me and say, we're having trouble communicating. This is a big one, right? We're not communicating, right? Communicating. And so they come into the office, and I said, their verbal skills are pretty good. Everybody seems to have good hearing. So it's not really talking and listening. It's really emotional connection, that emotional language of feeling loved and secure, and I'm safe with you. That's what's compromised, but it kind of gets framed as communication, But the talking and listening is actually fine. Everyone's quite adept at it. It's not really communication. They're having trouble connecting. They're turning away from one another.
Definitely. So I said that to say this, that pretty sure infidelity happens way before counseling. And since that's a major factor, that's where open door therapy comes in at, to aid in the aftermath.
Yes, definitely. And like I said earlier, I often get the calls when it's newly discovered, kind of raw, and they're spinning, it's panicked. They're in a whole new world, and basically the question is, are we going to make it? Will our relationship, will our marriage survive this? You don't ask that when you're fighting about other things, right? But when it's infidelity, it really questions immediately the future of the relationship. The couple's in crisis, and with a lot of uncertainty and unanswered questions. It's a very, very difficult and very painful place to be, as you could imagine. Yeah.
Yes. I believe it can warp a person, like really change a person to where they question everything from faith to religion to society, TV, television. They're questioning, like, where's this influence coming from? Why did this person do this to me? Like, they broke into my fortress. How dare they? It's just a magnitude of all these feelings just coming at you all at one time, and then you're living life at the same time, like work, children, and people are, I don't
I would like to speak to that if I could.
Yes.
Sure. So it's something like this. To understand that phenomena, and what you described is really accurate, because if I can't trust the partner, my most intimate person who's there to keep me safe and protect me, then the whole world, my whole reality comes into question. And it's something like this. We all have, and it's not going to sound like it's related to infidelity at first, but just stay with me. We all have seen little children cry, right? Let's say a young child is crying. They bump their head, they're scared, something happened, and then when the mother sees the child, the mother gets kind of upset. What's wrong, baby? Why are you crying? And the child comes to the mother for comfort. Maybe the mother will take the child on her lap and say, "It's okay, mommy's here." They'll talk soft, might rub their back, and assure them that they're okay. You don't have to be afraid. And so the child is really trusting the mother as an extension to the world. If mommy says it's okay and I'm safe and she's going to protect me, then by extension, the world is safe because mommy's my protector, or we call this the protective loved one. And so when you're little, the protective loved one is basically the mother. It could be the dad, but mostly it's the mom. And then in adulthood, that protective loved one becomes the partner. And so with that example, you can see that in infidelity, if the partner didn't keep you safe, it becomes a danger cue. Then the whole world, I don't know what's real anymore. People whose partner has had infidelity, have had an affair, often say, I don't know, my world is turned upside down. It's surreal. The ground beneath me doesn't feel solid anymore. I can't stabilize, kind of like the child who goes to the mother for comfort, and the mother reliably responds. If the mother turned away or said some falsehood or was deceptive, that would really shake the child up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's not keeping me safe. I'm disoriented. So it's really important that the safety and trust is there, and when it's not there, it throws off that the harm to the person who didn't have the affair is trauma. It's a trauma, essentially, because they're not grounded anymore. The partner's there for grounding, to keep me safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was there, Terry. I was in my marriage. There was infidelity. And
I'm sorry.
Well, I would say, I was sorry, when it happened and for the years after it. But now I'm a better person. And sometimes things happen as extreme as that, for change to take about. But that's what happened for me. I mean, at that time, though, I was warped. I was mad, angry, sadness at the same time. I mean, I'm a Gemini, so that's pretty normal, right?
Yeah, right. Me too. So there's four of us here.
Yeah, but it's like times 20. Yeah, 4 of us. So it's like times 20 when infidelity happens, though. And then you're me being in the business world, it's also an embarrassment for that to happen.
Yes, a shame. Yes, definitely. Yes,
shame.
Shameful.
And then you're shunned by other men because they're like, "Oh, how you let that happen? You didn't protect your castle."
Yeah. But now that we're speaking, you might be able to reframe that a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a vulnerability when the connection's not there. But so perhaps if this message can get out to a lot of folks, when you hear that there's infidelity, the first thing I think of is the primary relationship. Something about that went awry. It loosened up. I don't immediately think judgment or this kind of thing, shame. It's somebody was hurting, someone's in pain. I would like it if in society or in the world, on the media, we could have this new frame, this a little bit more compassionate frame about infidelity, that it's a symptom of loneliness or sadness, or a primary relationship not really working. People are trying to get their needs met, essentially, because the primary relationship, something about it is askew.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more compassionate view, don't you think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like to add to that, demographically, or dealing with ethics. Certain groups do not really seek counseling, like before or after. I don't know if you experienced that or you noticed that, but there's a large percentage of different ethnic groups that do not really seek counseling.
Yeah.
And I actually would like to encourage you, if you're listening, talking to someone like it's Terry here is always a wonderful thing to do. You don't want to do what I did and wander around the desert for 3 or 4 or 5 years, trying to find yourself. And sometimes you get lost in the transition of that. Sometimes you come out, shining, and ready to start anew. And but that could be a terrible time, and you really need to find someone to talk to. So how do you push your company to help bridge that gap? Because I don't know, and especially a lot of younger couples and people don't really open up like that.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to come in and talk about these deep pains. It's hard. It's a little harder, of course, for males, right? I'm a female therapist, so it's harder for males. Generally, after one session, I make a special effort to connect with them, and I have a little joke. I say that I'm bilingual and I speak man. That seems to help.
Nice.
That seems to help. And sometimes I will use my interpreting skills. The man might say something kind of bumbly, and I'll say, I think what he's really saying is, and then I'll check with the man, is that right? And they say, yeah, you got it, 100%. You got it. They have a hard time expressing it. So this is not a comfortable place for a male, right? Talking about feelings and these shameful things and the pain. But generally, what inspires people to come in, or inspires is the right word, but when you're in deep pain, you want to try relief. So they'll often come in the door because they're struggling so much, they're in such pain. That's a big motivator, but it's certainly not easy. So I do make a special effort to connect with the males, because I understand it's different. It's kind of a female environment, right? Talking about relationships and feelings, and they come in with the Jerry Springer version or the Dr. Phil version of things, that if they did something wrong, that they're going to get, beat up or judged or condemned, and actually they when they find it to be kind of compassionate or understanding, I think that kind of calms it down a bit. They come for a second and third visit. They
usually come to the first one with a wall up, right?
A bit cautious. What's going to happen? Or some. I get some nice compliments at the end. They sometimes say, "I came in here thinking this is going to be a waste. This is going to be a waste of my time and money. What are you going to do? What can you do here? This is hopeless." And at the end, even after the first visit, they have a little hope. They said, "Oh yeah, this wasn't so bad," or it kind of calms it down. That's the first thing, is to just, they're all wound up. They're scared. Are we going to make it? Do people get over this? And then that calming down, it calms it down a little bit. We're going to be okay. We're kind of in good hands. So that generally helps.
Definitely. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, not a lot of in training in our counseling programs, they generally don't go over affairs or infidelity. It's not really covered in the training, and there's very little. There's very little in terms of even professional development after you receive your license. So So the therapists are in a tough spot in a way. There's lately, probably in the past couple of years, there's been a little more out there, but mostly even therapists that went through the training, or they don't get too much on infidelity, even though it's so common. It's kind of a gap in the programs, I think.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I have another cliche slogan for you.
Okay.
It's cheaper to keep her. Is there a large
That's a song, right?
Yeah.
That's a song? Yeah.
It is. Is there a large percentage of couples staying together after infidelity?
Yes. Most of them do. Most do stay together. I get this question sometimes, what percentage of people who see you stay together? It's very high, but I don't think that's the question. The question really would be, how many restore trust and safety? Yes. That's the measurement. Has trust and safety been restored? That's a different question. So staying together is, most do that. It isn't no testament to me. I just think in general most people do stay together post-infidelity. But the real question is, are we able to restore trust and safety? That's a whole different question. That's the tough one. Can we repair where the trust and safety has been compromised? That's different. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you approach that question?
How do I approach the question, or how do we? Well, in counseling, we work toward the restoration of trust and safety. I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but that's what I say back. I say, most do stay together, and I don't know if that's a measurement of success. The real measurement of success is, has trust and safety been restored and repaired?
Yes.
That's tougher. Yeah.
And you walk these couples through the steps of that?
I do.
Great.
Very carefully.
So what's like the first important issue that you first cover when they're on that point of restoration?
Yeah, so the first thing is they often are coming in with great confusion and in serious pain, and the focus tends to be initially on the person whose partner cheated. They're presenting with great pain. So if you can imagine it like a wound, a physical wound, right? They're bleeding all over the place, let's say, but it's emotional, right? So they're in great pain. So this is often the focus of the early session because of the trauma that the person experienced. And one of the first things to do is that I check with is to make sure that the affair relationship has been concluded. We will need another hour to talk about the conclusion of the affair relationship. That's tricky because the outside relationship doesn't always conclude in a straight line or promptly. Those can be kind of messy. They don't wrap up readily sometimes, and there's a range on the affair side. Was it texting someone you shouldn't be texting? Was it an emotional affair? The range I've seen in my office have been from some sort of slightly inappropriate interaction with someone outside the relationship that doesn't quite rise to the level of a full-blown affair, but it's really rattling the partner a lot, to people leading, double lives that have had long-term affair partners for years, really like a double life, or children with the affair partner. It's quite the range. So one of the first questions is has the affair relationship concluded? What's the status of that? If it's still going on, that's different than if they said, no, that's really wrapped up. We're done there. I sealed it up. It's done. And it's not always done, even if they say it. But the conclusion of the affair relationship would really be an important step one.
Definitely. Okay.
And how that occurs is delicate.
Yeah.
And difficult. Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Do you want my job?
No. I can only offer like one piece of advice if I ever had your job.
What would that be?
Talk to somebody sooner.
That's good.
Like I said, it took me 5 years to wander around in the desert. And that's time I can't get back. But
you were lost.
Yeah, definitely. But to say, I am back with my wife.
Nice.
Like I said, it took some time to just explore myself and forgive myself for actions that led to it, because I did take I did take part in that, my responsibility, and making her I guess seek her work husband.
Yes.
As they say, everybody has two husbands, one at home, one at work. But
right.
Work
stuff. Yeah.
But that would be the only thing I could offer, is just to talk to someone, like open door therapy sooner.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I think it's a good idea. Of course, yeah.
Yep. A lot of time gone. Can't get that back.
Yeah, that's a loss. Yeah, I understand. But it was needed time, right? You can't just spin on a dime and work these things out. They do take time.
Yeah. Oh, and the second thing that I would just offer is that you gotta understand that people are people, and it is not necessary about you. Sometimes it's about them. They have issues or problems that just haven't been addressed, and that leads up to my next question for you.
Sure.
How often are you encountering where you find out that it's not really a marriage problem? Because there's no such thing as a marriage problem. It's always a person problem. That's just my opinion. There's always a person problem.
You mean like one individual in the pair is troubled?
Yes, and they just bring it over to relationship, and it kind of magnifies. Or they have children to try to decrease some of the tension, and that just magnifies the problem. How often are you running into those issues?
Right. So I have a different way of looking at that if something like that presents. How are we doing on time? Do I have a little time to explain something here?
Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes. We did good.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm happy to hear it. I'm enjoying this very much. So I really focus on in session the interplay between the two in the pair. So even if one person is presenting with, let's say, a little more troubled or wounded or less relationship able, or has issues, it's really how does that affect the interplay between the two? And all right, I'm going to get a little fancy on you now. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So a little fancy talk here is couples are really designed to emotionally regulate one another. In that example I gave earlier with the mother responding to the child, the crying child, and so when the child's upset, the mother gets kind of wound up because the child's upset, because their systems are linked to one another, So and when the child calms, when the mother calms, comforts and soothes the child, then the mother's system calms down, and the baby, the little young one, goes off to play again, and they're good as new, and then the mother is stabilized, let's say. In that very same way, the romantic pair is linked in the same way. So I'm always looking at what is the effect, the emotional effect on the other if, let's say, one person's a little more wound up. Let's say they're kind of anxious, they're a little nervous, they're on high speed, they get frazzled, they're not so grounded, let's say. Then what is it like between the two? Because their job the function is really to emotionally regulate. So I might say when she gets kind of wound up, she gets wound a little tight, she's going a mile a minute, what effect does that have on you? So that shuts me down. I get shut down. He gets shut down, she winds up even more, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to change that We sometimes call that the dance or the exchange, so that the unit of two can calm down. So there was this interesting study that has become, it's on YouTube, you can see it, it's pretty fascinating. And the study was done by a researcher named Jim Cohn. It just takes a moment to explain, but he had this client come in his office, this elderly man who was suffering post-traumatic stress, and every time he tried to work with the man would fold his arms and be resistant. He wasn't compliant. The man was suffering post-traumatic stress, and the therapist could not reach him. He was kind of resistant. So the client asked the therapist, when I come to session next week, would it be okay with you if I brought my wife in? Can she come in with me to the session? So he thought, well, I don't know. She's not really the patient, but kind of what the heck, you know. So she comes in with him, and the therapist kind of said hello to her, but focused on his client. And they went through this exchange again, trying to get him to do some work, and he was resistant. And his wife turns to him in the session and says, honey, I'll do it with you. And she took his hand. And he said, okay, I'll do it. So the therapist is thinking, wow, for 2 weeks I'm knocking my head against the wall, right? I can't reach this guy. He's resistant. She comes in and she holds his hand, and now he's agreeable, you know. He became fixated on why we hold hands. What happens when a hand is held? We hold the hand of the children. We hold the hand of our lover. So what is taking place in hand holding? So he was also a researcher. He did therapy and he had a research lab. So he goes back to the research and he sets up this study. The subjects were women, and they're instructed. They go into this scanning device that looks at the brain imaging, those circular devices, the CAT scan that reads the brain image. And the women are on their backs, and they say when the X lights up in front of you, this is an indicator that within the next 15 minutes, we don't know exactly when, you're going to get a painful shock on your lower extremities, on your legs. You're going to get zapped. You know, pain is coming. He's basically creating stress, right? Putting the women under duress. So the women in the first group are on their back. They see the X light up. They know the shock is coming, and the researchers are looking at the brain response, and the brain is lighting up. Threat, danger, you know, it's going to hurt. So the brain's really reacting. They get the shock on the legs, and it stings. It really zaps them. The second group had the same instructions, except this group gets to hold the hand of a stranger, someone they're really not connected with, somebody sort of random, and they're in the thing, and they're holding the hand. And this time, when the X lights up for this group, number 2, the brain response is a little less of a threat. It's not statistically different, but it's showing a little effect in the hand holding of the hand of a stranger. The third group, throughout the whole time, is holding the hand of their partner with whom they have a loving and secure bond. They're deeply connected to the partner, and it's a satisfactory and loving connection. So they're holding the hand. The X lights up for group number 3, and the brain shows no threat response. The brain stays calm the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. And when they get the zap on their legs, they report later that was a mild discomfort. It didn't really hurt. And so we call this partner buffering. And so your partner system, the central nervous system, the biology is deeply, deeply linked. You're very reactive to one another, the unit of two. So the partner's job, function, let's say, is to help take away the pain, to buffer the pain, the stresses and strains of the world, kind of like how a mother comforts and soothes a child during times of stress when the child's upset. It's that same mechanism, but now we're all grown-ups, and so the protective loved one, instead of it being mommy, is now the partner. This is the function of pairing. This is what we're there for, to take away the pain. And Jim Cohn, the researcher, stated that if couples are married a long time, 20, 25 years, if one partner experiences pain or duress, or under distress, the other one's brain and physiology experiences it as if it's their own pain. The brain makes no distinction because they're so tightly bonded. This is kind of, oh wow. They didn't expect these dramatic results when they set up the study. In fact, you can see this study on YouTube if you'd like. It's called Soothing the Threatened Brain, or it's on YouTube in another name called Why Do We Hold Hands? So as a therapist, I'm looking for that mechanism where they can emotionally regulate one another to calm down the unit of two. Are you with me?
I am with you.
Yeah. So it's pretty it's magic. It's magic. It's fascinating. So even if one presents with issues, to get back to your question, it's really what is the response of the partner and what effect does that have on the unit of two? Because the function is to comfort and soothe, to keep that unit calm together. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Magic.
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 Definitely. Terri, I think
cool.
we covered a lot of great points today.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fascinating and misunderstood and greatly misunderstood.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So here's our open floor. Take this next opportunity here to say anything else that you would like to. Please be sure to send out your website link so people can connect with you there. And talk about how even though you don't live in, if you don't live in the state of New Jersey, that they can still solicit your services. And also, you know, if there was anything that I didn't bring up that you wanted to talk about, please bring it up at this time.
Oh, thank you for opening up the floor. So the main thing is my website, which is opendoortherapy.net. It's not .com. I think there's an opendoortherapy.com, but that's not me. So it's opendoortherapy.net. I'm in New Jersey. And I also have a little podcast and a blog, a little blog called Love Bonds, lovebonds.net. They both have the same name. I'm also on Twitter handle at Open Door Therapy, and I might have a book in me.
Oh.
That I might. Yeah, I'm considering this book on infidelity, and that's I've been wrestling with that a little bit. And if I do get it together and produce this book, it would have this unique, different orientation than what I have seen in the other books on the same topic.
Nice. You got to do it.
I got to do it.
You got to do it.
Yeah, it's rolling around in my head, but I've got to take the pen to the paper now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed. Yeah, I really enjoyed our time together. Thank you for having me as your guest. I've enjoyed it very much.
Oh yeah, we enjoyed you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey everybody, my special guest, Miss terri-dimatteo. And
right.
Just in case you didn't get those links to her website and podcast, they're in the description of this episode. So all you have to do is click the link. I did all the hard work for you guys. So don't worry about it, you know.
Yeah, thank you.
Fingers are good on that.
Thank you. Very good. I'm here to help. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You be blessed.
Oh, thank you. Have a good day. Bye now.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.
How would you love to take your business to the next level? Well, now you can. Just visit classytechnology.com. Let us simplify technology for your business. Our services include website and business mobile app development, local SEO, business technology coaching, digital marketing, even online training courses. That's classytechnology.com. Why wait? Book your free technology consultation today by calling 734-215-7675. Put the passion back into your business and let the team at Classy Technology handle everything for you. That's classytechnology.com, the technology stylists.